Hey Paige, this is Carrie Fox. So I just finished watching your video. Um, so I'm just gonna go straight into remarking on that. So, let's see. Oh, yeah. So like you were talking about like the counselor needs like a refresher, some professional development on the relationship boundaries, and I looked that one up in the ASCA ethical codes, and it's A.5H, refrain from the use of personal social media, text, and email accounts to interact with students unless it's sanctioned by the school district, which most school districts don't. Um, so I'm with you on that one. Keep the relationship, strictly counselee. um, and then because it does blur that line, kids need to know that there is a boundary between, um, you know, in that relationship. It's strictly, an adult and a kid. There's no, um, kids kind of like to have relationships, with adults. They think it's cool. Excuse me. They're like, oh, I'm friends with this adult. But it's a boundary that they need to learn. You know, and that they can apply, excuse me, I'm sorry, that they can apply to their own use of social media of, beware that, of an adult seeking you out on social media. Um, 'Cause it's not quite appropriate for an adult to seek out that relationship with a kid. So, getting them to understand there's a boundary there. Um, And then but I did like how you put that of, what would I see on yours? If we were friends, what would I see on it? Or asking them why. What's the motivation? Are you just curious about me outside of this professional school setting? I like having that conversation there. Um, and then you talked about number 6, where she's got the expertise with counseling the individuals with eating disorders, but has only gone to one training for group counseling with students with eating disorders. And I think there, like you said, like as an individual, she's got the expertise, but in group, there's more dynamics that at play there, especially depending on what grade levels you're working with, developmental levels. I know at middle school, I'd probably not really do that one. Or at least on my campus, about 90% sure we would not do group counseling, especially with girls. So, um, so there, I don't think it'd be a horrible idea for her to try out the group counseling as long as she had some sort of supervision with a counselor that she knows, um, that can help supervise what she's doing with the group, running things by so that she's not just going at it alone. She's always collaborating with someone so that she is kind of supervised, and that she doesn't do harm, she does good. Um, and so I think they're having that supervision is definitely going to be her best bet. So, and I like how you have talked about handling scenario 8 with the 15-year-old male not wanting his parents to know why he's seeking out counseling from you. I think all around you've done a very good job of thinking about the ethical implications, the legal ramifications, um, you know, and how you would have that conversation with the students. And I guess from what you mentioned, you have a little bit of experience working with students and the counselor on these situations. So I really loved that was a very well-rounded way of handling that scenario. I've taken a few points from what you talked about. So um, so yeah, I really liked your take on these things. You're very well thought out um, ideas here. So I can't wait to hear a little bit more from you throughout the rest of the summer session.